Mason?
You know, I think when I watched George Mason, I watched their game last night. I see a team that's trying. They're trying to pressure the ball. A little bit different than anybody that we've played. Their quickness, and they're an aggressive man-to-man team. So they try to do some things the way we do, actually. So it's stuff that we see in practice, but we've seen more conservative defenses. Last night they turned their game around with creating turnovers. They're not a senior-laden team, but they're an aggressive team. They got good quickness. So it'll be interesting because we haven't played a team like them. And I've known their point guard since he was in high school. Otis played with Quadri at Linden. Otis led him to a state championship. I believe 2 state championships with Phil Colicchio, whose name's on the court there at Linden. He's one of my best friends in coaching. Really, really good player. Otis, a guy, you know, I didn't offer him, but I told everybody else to offer him, and then that George Mason didn't get him till I think May. They didn't. But the Keys turned out to be a great player. I think he was preseason All-League in the Atlantic 10, Otis Livingston.
They're pretty balanced scoring.
Yeah, very balanced team.
Well, everybody back there.
And I think that's why they were picked pretty high in their league. You know, like they had a couple of one-point losses early that just tough ones. You know, didn't get a chance to start with layups. You know, at home. I think Penn won the Ivy League last year, and they lost in overtime to them. So, you know, they like I said, you know, they're a team, because they're not the biggest team. They're not going to turn it over a lot because they play a lot of guards and they get good quickness. So I think our size needs to be a factor in this game. Our size and our athleticism need to be a factor in this game.
You said the other night that you're not sure about Keith Williams and Kane Brew and how you use those guys.
Well, a lot of guys, not just those two.
Yeah, but those two in particular. Like, what would that decide on your opponent?
Still trying, you know, it's early. Well, I mean, I don't even know what day it is, but you're still trying to figure out lineups. You know, I think we've been spoiled here with obvious kind of lineups the last few years. This team got a lot of guys that are equal. They just bring different things to the table. And I think playing certain guys together gives us a better chance, you know, to be at our best as a team. So, you know, what we tried to do with putting Keith in the lineup was getting an athlete in there with Jaron Cumberland, somebody that's, you know, Keith's mind is on offensive rebounding. So, you know, it's just like trying to make a dish. You know, you're a cook, so you would know all about it. You know, certain things go well together. So just trying to figure that part of it out. But so, you know, Kane Broom's obviously, you know, people get too high and too low in the world of sports. You know, I wasn't concerned. I mean, he's a veteran, and it's just a matter of him getting his confidence back. You know, with Kane is a scorer. He's not a three-point shooter. Doesn't mean he doesn't make threes. And the same with a lot of our guys. I think, you know, we came out of the gate shooting too many threes, and that's my fault. You know, we got to help kids figure out who they are and what they need to do to be successful. So, you know, whether a guy starts or not, he's, you know, obviously we need Kane Broom to win. If we're going to compete for our league title, you know, when it comes American Conference time, try to make the NCAA tournament, Kane Broom's going to have to be a big part of our team.
You like what Keith has done so far, though, right?
Yeah, his mind's on rebounding. You know, the last 2 games he's had double-figure deflections. I think he had 12 in the last game. He had 5 rebounds. So, you know, like I said, I was kidding around in the press conference. You know, that Jaron Cumberland and I got one thing in common. Besides our bubbling, smiling personalities, is our vertical leap. You know, so, you know, it helps us to get an athlete in there, whether it's Keith or Logan Johnson or Rashawn Fredericks. You know, they're all guys that go to the offensive glass that are great athletes. You know, because Justin, Kane, and Jaron don't play above the rim.
Is that the same thing you were talking about? You felt like maybe you screw things up with your lineup substitutions in the first half? Is that trying to figure out which lineup you like best?
Yes and no. I'm just trying to get guys some playing time. When you feel like you're going to win a game as a coach, I believe you got to develop your bench. I hear coaches lament in January and February about they don't have a bench. We're not deep enough. We're well, you got to put them in. So I think when you have a chance to put them in as a coach, if you feel like, okay, this team probably can't beat us, it doesn't do Logan Johnson, or you pick a guy, Mamadou Diarra, a chance to get in a game where it's still a game. Putting him in a game when there's 8 minutes left and you're up 38 doesn't help him. At the end of the day, they can say, well, 8 minutes played. But to get him in there early in a game is Dean Smith did it when I was growing up as a kid. Did it all the time. Subbed a lot like the NBA does. At the end of the first quarter, play those guys. They used to do it all the time at North Carolina. You got to get those guys some meaningful minutes, and they did it for that. And then you're the fresher team down the stretch. But I just think early in the season, when you got a chance to get those guys in, you got to get them in and give them a chance to develop. I've always believed in that. Coach Pitino did it. He was a big believer in that. Playing your bench, it keeps your spirits up in practice, keeps guys motivated to get better. Show it, and you reward it. Gives you a chance. Reward a guy. Reward a guy that's working hard in practice. But yes, it does screw up whatever flow you had going. So that's why we had a great offensive flow, and I screwed it up. But there was a reason. You try to looking at the bigger picture when you think you're going to win a game.
What is the benefit of a tournament like this as opposed to a normal road tournament?
Well, NCAA tournament atmosphere, conference tournament atmosphere, neutral site, good teams at a neutral site, neutral refs, officials not from a certain conference, a chance to try to play for a tournament championship. So, that, and I hope the weather's good. Haven't really looked, but.
It's supposed to be like 72 in summer.
Well, I hope so.
But getting guys used to, you're going to have to play 2 games in 2 days.
Yeah. Playing a group of games in a short period of time, quick turnaround, try to play for a championship. So there's all positives to it.